Good evening and welcome to SAS Sober and Smiling. We're here at Holton Hill in Skegness. My name's Rob.
I'm Nick.
I'm Damon.
And I'm Jamie.
So thank you for tuning in. This week's topic is, I think Damo come up with this one, so we'll let him crack on and start it. So it's going to be employment in recovery. So employment in early recovery and how we deal with that on and off, what we did, how it was perceived, how it can benefit us. So there's a fair bit to talk about. So we'll let Damo kick it off and then we'll all just crack on. Cheers.
So basically it's not just about employment in recovery. I'm going to start by looking at employment while in addiction, because for me, I did a lot of rubbish jobs that I wouldn't say quite happy doing, but it didn't matter because I was just waiting for that spliff at the end of the day. So you do it, the driving force for doing the rubbish job is the money that gets you the substance.
Just feeding the habit.
Yeah. So you're unhappy in the job, you might be unhappy with your personal life, but you're quite happy with the addiction. And even if you're not happy with the addiction, it's an addiction, you're going to keep doing it because that's what the mind tells you to do. So like in my really early recovery days, the first few weeks, I went back to the pub where I've been working a few years ago, where I was smoking weed, but the addiction wasn't it wasn't as bad as it was in the end. And I enjoyed that job. And I thought, with my head being as bad as it was, I thought, right, where can I go where I know the people, I feel comfortable, or I can get to feel comfortable? Because I think for the first few weeks when I went back, even though I'd already been there and I knew the customers and I knew the staff, I still had very little confidence in myself because that's where the addiction took me. So it took a few weeks. But I started to feel better. I was coming to, the meetings. I was doing the one-to-one work with Jamie, and everything was falling into place slowly. And as an addict, it's not, you don't want that, but you've got to be prepared to take the small steps of progress because, small steps make big change in the long run.
Yeah.
And there's no quick fix.
No. And I did that, and I really enjoyed that again. Actually, I think it was on a seasonal. I knew it was going to come to an end, but when it come to an end, I wasn't. Obviously, I wanted to find another job, but there wasn't a sense of urgency as right, I need another job because it's got to pay for my addiction. I was still able to, apply for several jobs without thinking which is going to be best. When can I start immediately? When It was mainly just because, the bills still need paying. But it's not, it wasn't important to take a rubbish job, which I ended up doing, because I had a mate who worked, I'm not going to name the place, obviously, but I had a mate that worked there and he said, oh, it's all right, you might enjoy it. You might not, it's not, some places aren't for everyone. But I applied for this place, got a job and started within a couple of weeks. It wasn't what I thought it would be. And I've been looking for another job, and I found another job. I've actually got another job. I start next week on Wednesday, so I'm handing my notice in.
That's one, dude.
And again, it's probably not going to be one of the best jobs, but I've got to look for what provides me with stability, structure, routine, because that's where I thrive. It's not chaos and constantly checking rotors is not something that sits well for me. It's it's just not. I can't plan around that, and that does my head in. But again, not having the addiction, there was no urgency about getting this job. I was free to again apply for anything and everything and wait until the perfect job came up. And I think that's what coming out of addiction did for me. It gave me the freedom to be able to cope with these situations and look for a better out rather than just something that's going to keep feeding the addiction.
I'm glad you said stuff like that because, I mean, Mine was different, but in sort of the same way in the end, the way you've just said about having time to do stuff. So when I came out of active addiction, I was obviously a mess, and I was employed at the time. I thought I was getting away with all this shit, but I clearly wasn't. But anyway, I went into rehab, and I quit my job in rehab and had nothing to come out to, it wasn't a scary thought because I was having to deal with all the shit in rehab and get myself out. But going back to that bit that you said, it gave me time, and I came out of rehab and spent a month, maybe 2 months without a job. And yes, bills were piling up. I'm not in a situation where I could afford not to pay stuff, and it all still had to be paid. But it gave me that breathing space to decide what I wanted to do. Because I took what my counsellor said quite literally, and they said basically you have to, in order to overcome addiction and be in recovery, you've got to change your whole life and your whole lifestyle, and everything you've done in the past in addiction is obviously feeding that sort of stuff. So I took that literally and quit my job, and because I obviously wasn't happy there, and there was loads of triggers in my job, especially driving and stuff, and panic attacks. That was triggering for me. So yeah, I took it literally and just quit, and probably selfishly didn't have any backup plan of what I was going to do. But that for me was a bloody good thing. It gave me that breathing space to understand what I wanted to do, and to understand what was going to make me happy and not make me stressed. And to me, that was more important. I took it literally what they said, my recovery comes first. So unless I build a foundation on my recovery that works for me, then nothing fucking works. If I went back into a job or kept that job, then my chaos would still be the same. I'd be trying to overcome a chronic fucking illness and still be in the chaos that I was in for years. So for me, that worked perfectly. I would recommend anybody to do that, but obviously that's not feasible for a lot of people. It's not feasible just to quit your job and spend a couple of months deciding what you want to fucking do. That's not feasible for people. It wasn't really feasible for me, but it was important for me, and it was important for my recovery, because unless I did that, and yes, it was hard times, it was hard with the mortgage, and it was hard with the bills and everything else, and it put a lot of strain on my wife. But if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been in a healthy, recovered place, because that was the most important stand-in for me, was for me to get to that place, and then I can move on and do what I wanted.
Yeah, it's whatever it takes to break that cycle.
You've got to, yeah, and it is whatever it takes, because a few months beforehand, we were talking about me living or dying. It was life and death. So if that's not on the top of people's agendas to go, fuck it, I need to change a job, I need to get rid of my friends, I need to do this, I need to do that, because 6 months ago I was going to die, then what else is fucking more important than that? That's got to be your priority, and this is where people don't understand, and people think that recovery is really, really hard because they go back to their old ways, because they're still living their old ways. That's my outlook. If you live your old ways, you're going to do your old shit. Change it all.
Do you know what? I'm really pleased you said that, because, you know, when you said like feeding your addiction, it's kind of, because I didn't know what I was going to say tonight, because, you know, I've always been employed, or I've been self-employed, and I've never kind of struggled to get a job, and I've always like done really well in my jobs. I've always kind of been in like a sales environment job. But, you know, again, I find that, you know, looking at it now, it's like fed the addiction, because you know, in sales jobs, it's like that work hard, play hard environment, you know, so you're working your arse off all week, and then at the weekend, all of you as a team go out and you get hammered at the weekend. So I enjoyed that, and that's kind of what I've chased, and obviously the high pay packet, you know, to kind of, which has fed my addiction, but it's also kept that dopamine you know, switch going, because it's always kind of kept me going.
Thrill of the chase.
Getting a thrill out of it, and like you say, that last time I went into rehab, it was really bad, and I shouldn't be here talking now, and that's made me change my complete career and life around, you know, and that's why I do what I do now, because I can't stay in that same environment that I was in because it just doesn't do me any favours, you know. And in all fairness, I mean, I get more enjoyment out of helping people than I ever did out. As much of a buzz I ever got out of selling and getting a bonus and commission and all that, it's not the same as what I do now. I mean, it's on a different level. But so I'm still, so you know, I suppose in a way I'm still getting getting a high out of it, but in a more healthy, in a more healthy way. Yeah.
Absolutely, but you took. I mean, me and you are quite similar anyway. We've noticed this over the weeks, but you've taken that instruction or whatever quite literally as I did, because you have to change. For me anyway, and for this alcoholic, this addict, I had to fucking change my life.
Yeah.
Because I'd spent 30 odd years drinking and fucking swallowing pills left, right, and centre. That I was literally on death's door. We all were. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
No, exactly.
If you're listening to this and you're an addict of our persuasion, then you're on death's door. You're going to die. If you don't take that shit seriously and change your entire life, yes, it's fucking hard to just go bang and change everything and do it sort of like slowly, but for me, I had to fucking do it all at once. Then you're in trouble, aren't you? Because as soon as you start thinking about your old lifestyle, that's what fed your addiction.
Yeah.
That's what made your addictions okay, and that's what led to them. And there's loads and loads of triggers in your past. If you carry on with that, then nothing's changing. I don't understand how people can then go, oh, I slipped. Well, of course you fucking slipped, because
nothing's changed. Yeah.
What if you don't change?
Yeah, and that's what they say. If nothing changes, nothing changes, and it's true. And I've learnt that the hard way, because I've been told what to do in rehab I've been in 4 times, but the first 3 times they told me what to do, and I just thought, nah, do you know what? I don't like what you said there. I'll do that my way, you know. But my way don't work.
No.
It doesn't work at all.
But you thought originally that your way was working, and it was the best way to get high and the best way to do this.
Yeah,
and the buzz was brilliant. But now you understand that there is a different way, and the buzz is totally not the same, but it's probably more satisfying now.
More satisfying than it's ever been. Yeah. It is. It's you know, it's weird really, because I felt like I've wasted kind of 30 years of my life, you know, drinking and taking drugs, but it's like it's all had a bit of purpose now, in a nice way, and you know, and I do, you know, addiction, ADHD. I mean, it's like an obsession of the mind. And like you say, if we want, you know, if we want something, you know, if we want that bag of Coke or that pint or that drink or whatever, we will go to the end of the earth to get it, won't we?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of drive that I've always had in like sales jobs, and what I've put into this, and you know, because anything I've been consistent at for the last 30 years is drinking and taking drugs. Yeah. And I've put that consistency into this, and you know, in the last sort of like 9 months, I mean, it's done really, really well. And you know, so in a way, I look at like addiction, ADHD, is if you use it in the right way, it can work really well for you, and it can be like, it's like a bit of a superpower really, because we've got a lot of more drive and determination than the normal person.
And 100%. You've got everyone in addiction, or everyone that's in recovery has got that drive.
Yeah.
And are, to a certain extent, successful in what they do. All of us, every single addict in the world is successful. They're just successful at fucking trying to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And taking drugs.
Yeah.
And we're also successful in doing the impossible and getting that substance. Sometimes it's fucking impossible to get it, but we always manage to do it.
But I really enjoyed that. You know, that buzz of trying to think, right, shit, what am I going to do? I need that, bang, 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 and it's, you know, before you know it, you've done it, and it's like, fucking yes. Yeah. You know, but I mean, but for me, getting the drugs or the drink, that was doing the chasing around, and that was part of the fun, you know.
But now you're using it to a better.
Yeah, using it using it for the right way. Yeah.
You're using that same drive, but for a different outcome.
For a different outcome, yeah. And it just goes to show, you know, you can turn your life around and do it. Like I say, you can, as an addict or, you know, ADHD or what it is, you can literally turn your life around. You've got it in you to do it, because you've got it in you to drink and take drugs. So there's no reason why you can't swap it round for something better for you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But you've got to want to do it yourself.
Yeah. We've all got the ability to think out the box and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me, and this is quite
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, God, yeah.
We'd think it through.
yeah.
I certainly would,
Mm.
and I have done. I've thought about ways of getting people and doing people over and killing them or beating them up to the extents of the earth that are perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that's how my brain works.
Yeah,
Obviously, you've got a van though, don't it?
Yeah. But my brain will do that and
Yeah.
it will work everything out
Yeah.
for hours and hours on end, and this is the problem with
Yeah.
Alex's brain. It will work something out for hours and hours and hours and play it back and play it
Until
back
it's
and play it
perfect.
until it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
And we just have to change that mentality to something now that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's right. Yeah,
It gives you that freedom to put that focus on something
Yeah.
else, though, because you're
Yeah.
you're not constantly obsessing over,
Mm.
you know, the cannabis, the alcohol, whatever substance it is. Your mind's free now, so you can.
But it's getting someone to understand that though. That's kind of deep in addiction, to get them to understand that when you come out of it, you know, and you put that into something else, you'll be flying. But you feel that shit about yourself, don't you? You know, you're in that much resentment and guilt and shame towards yourself, and you know, your fear of the future, and you know, you're scared of the fear of the future, and you're resentful, and you know, everything about the past. It's hard to kind of get your head back into that new mindset. But once you've done it, you know, it's really, really freeing, and you know, like they say, the sky's the limit, really.
Oh, it is, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Love your job, Nick.
Do I love my job? It's alright. My job's alright. Well, the only thing with most of the jobs I talk about recovering employment is mine's alcohol, and I spent most of my life working behind a bar.
Yeah, that's
So
difficult. Yeah.
I was in the perfect place all the time, because that's what I've done most of my life, is work behind bars.
Mm.
And even as far back as then, when I've traced my addiction, I can take it back to my teens and that. When I first started working, you know, it started off glass collecting and stuff like that. And then, because I always looked older, they wouldn't mind me serving pints and that, because I could get away with it through my looks. Till when I started doing proper bartending and that, and then I moved left the keys to pubs. And that, while the owner goes home early, so like, you just lock up for me, and well,
Profits down that week, Nick. Yeah.
no, to be fair, I never,
Fuck off. You would know, wouldn't you?
once or twice, but not as much what you think, because like you say, you got the thrill out of, that sale. I just love the environment of working in a pub, because, you know, you're serving drinks, you've got a party atmosphere more or less most of the time. And I worked in mostly locals pubs, so everybody knew each other. There was always someone to talk to and that.
Mm.
And it was just great for a long time. So everyone's like, oh yeah, get changes, oh, get yourself one, you know, and all that. And before you know it, I've got 4 or 5 pints lined up, and then at the end of the night, because I'm still sort of wired, because I'm still thinking, you know, I'm still in work mode. It's like, so I'll just chill out with a couple of pints. And
Do you know, I never had so many drinks bought for me until I stopped drinking. But that's because I became a nicer person, a more approachable person. Don't get me wrong, I did my job before,
yeah.
but I just did my job. I was there to do a job.
Yeah.
You know, being free of the addiction and not always thinking about that, I was actually able
Been
to
stuck
be
in
more.
your head.
I was able to be more present and have more meaningful conversations and make better friendships. And you know, the irony was that everyone's offering to buy me drinks now, and I just don't drink anymore.
You know, that's how it went with me. I used to love all that atmosphere and that, and then a couple of times I sort of left and went travelling around the world, and always sort of came back to bar jobs and that, and as it sort of went on, it did progressively get worse. Where I did later times I was drinking while I was working and stuff like that, and it wasn't until really when my daughter sort of come along, that's when I decided I was knocking bar work on the head. Because I didn't want to work long hours. I didn't want to work, not long hours, but I didn't want to work unsociable hours.
Daft hours.
Yeah. So I wanted to, you know, spend time with my daughter and that. Okay, things didn't work out between me and her, but we're still mates. But I decided then I needed something different, something more stable. I needed a proper income and that. So I did, and that's when I ended up getting the job I have now. And I also thought at the time, maybe if I get out of the pub trade, that, you know, the drinking might stop.
Yeah.
This, as we've said, your head will think, well, you think, you know, stop, I'll calm down. Nah, it was already well embedded. All I did was just take myself out. I just basically took myself off the free ride. That's all I did, and started going for a ride out to pay for.
Yeah.
But then, even when I got into what I do now, was basically working in a builder's merchant. And I say it was hard for a little bit, but then it just kept creeping back up, and then things weren't going well in my relationships and that, and then I was just more or less falling off the rails.
You're probably not forward, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, I just fall off the forklift, and I don't even remember getting on it, and I've said this on a few occasions. There's times where because I work on a forklift, I'm literally on the forklift lifting wood down, all of a sudden my brain's gone, wake up, like that, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? My body's took me out, like blackout modes took me to work. Blackout modes took me to work, and then I'm serving people and that, and when I wake up I'm like, oh, what the hell am I doing here? And then everybody sort of, by this time, in a bar you can sort of almost get away with the drink thing, but where I work, no, they were onto it straight away. They knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
I've always said how I've still got my job now, I will never know. Because the amount of demolition and all sorts of cool stuff is terrible. And
I think there's a lot that can be said for work ethic, though.
yeah.
I mean, even just a strong work ethic. Again, if you can put that commitment you put into work into recovery, you're still onto a winner.
Oh yeah.
I think that for me the main thing is you've got to enjoy what you do. Nobody, including me, who I love my job, absolutely love what I do. I'm my own boss. I love the fact that I change people's homes and stuff like that. Absolutely love it. But half the time, no, I don't want to fucking get up and trudge in the morning and go to work. But I still love what I do. I think for me that's the most important thing in the world for any addict, anyone in recovery. You have to make that ultimate sacrifice that you have to do what you enjoy. You don't have to love it, but you have to enjoy it. You can't, it's everybody out there needs to go to work and earn a living, but they also need to enjoy the job. But for an addict, it's 100 times worse, because anything that we don't enjoy puts us down. The washing machine comes in,
it continues the cycle,
and it leads to whatever. So for any addict, they've got to enjoy what they've got to do. But you've also got to be in mind that that you don't go to work just for money, because money is fuck all. It means nothing to me now. Back then, it meant everything, like literally everything.
Yeah.
If I had money, then I could show off. I could portray an image that I felt that I needed to have.
That's exactly what I used to do.
Even though I couldn't afford that image, but I portrayed that image. To me now, it means nothing. In 50 years' time, I'm not going to be on this planet. My money won't mean shit. My name won't mean shit. I've seen this somewhere. My name will mean nothing. So if somebody says, like Rob Dennis, that won't mean anything in 50 or 100 years' time. Won't mean anything to anybody. So being on this fucking planet for the minimal amount of time that we are, and 3/4 of that life is at work. So you've got to fucking enjoy it. It can't be about money. It is for a lot of people, and it was for me. For 40 odd years, money was the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
Now, I'll quite happily give my last pound to somebody.
But when you, like say, you know, for
Even
me,
Liam.
you know, for me, like I say, since I've been, you know, young, I've always earned like really, really good money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what I've earned; it's never been enough.
No, it's never.
You know, it's never ever, and it's like I've chased something that I've never really known what I've chased. But you know, that image as well.
Yeah.
Thinking, you know, I've got to have this car, I've got to have this watch, and have these clothes, and you know, and I now know, and it's took me 47 years to realise it, but it's just all a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It don't bother me at all anymore. All that thing of wanting that image, it's just completely gone. And it didn't go the last 3 times I went to rehab. It's this last time that I've, you know, the massive changes happened. You know, and it's really weird because I've never been that person that's never wanted. There's always been something that I've wanted. You know, whether it's a gadget, a watch, this car or this, you know, there's always been something, or holiday or weekends away. I've always been like booking the next thing or doing the next thing, always, you know, never happy with what I've got.
Yeah.
And it's the first time in my life that I'm actually happy, you know, where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not bothered about how much money I've got, how much money I haven't got. It's, you know, it's because I think it's because I feel happy inside now. You know, it's like it's just changed everything.
Well, yeah, money is the classic addiction thing that nobody really talks about. I know there's shopping addiction, but
I've definitely had that.
procurement of money is a fucking addiction. I mean, I've had it in the past. You've clearly had it. But that look at me, how much money I've got, and you're piling it all in, and fucking that's an addiction. That image that you want to portray, and I've tried to portray it. And I've gone along with wedging my fucking loads of cash in my It's just like,
buying everybody drinks,
exactly.
like making
It's just like,
thinking, you know.
That don't mean anything to anybody.
No.
It does to us at the time.
Yeah,
and
well, you
really
think
means
it does, but it
means
doesn't.
fuck
It
all.
means fuck all. No.
Yeah, it means absolutely
No.
nothing.
It's amazing how many friends you've got when you've got a bit of money in your pocket.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the amount of hangers on and everything else, and I've seen it, and I see it with some family members that, yeah, the amount of people that are just around you because you pay for everything. You don't pay for everything because you've got tons of money. You pay for everything for that image, and then people feed off that because they then expect you to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And it just becomes.
And
a
that would
fucking
always be. I would
endless
always just
cycle,
like buy round after round. I wouldn't like wait my turn to buy the next round. I'd want another drink because I drank for everybody else. So I'd just end up going and buying another round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's mad, but you know it's weird because I've always chased something. You know, and I thought, right, when I've got that job and I'm earning that amount of money and I've got that watch and I've got that car and blah blah blah, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? And you work your arse off to get it all, and you get there and you're like, I don't feel any different.
No.
You know, and you think, it's because I didn't get that car and I should have got that watch. And then, you know, and then I'd swap my car. You know, I've literally swapped my car every 6 to a year, 6 months to a year in, year out. You know, not bothered how much money I've lost or anything like that. I've just done it because I thought that's what I need to make me happy.
Yeah.
And it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I've chased something. I don't really know why, but I know it's kind of because I've been running away from myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I've not wanted to sit with me and work out actually what's really going off. So I've done anything I can to distract me from me, and by doing stupid things.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all down to, you know, to addiction really.
It's it's not the quote or the saying that like as people we will never be fully self-fulfilled, because even if you set a target and hit that target, what's next? You will soon grow tired and weary of just being where you are.
I think you do, and that I've said it quite a few times now, and I truly believe this, that people are never fucking happy. Generally, people are never happy because they are chasing something, and it comes down to that old fucking saying is what's the meaning of life? And I truly believe that the meaning of life is just fucking living in the present.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, living in
It's
the
not the
present.
future, and we all chase the future. It's not the past, because we're all fucking hung up and sad about the past, and that's where addictions and that.
It's
lot
living
come
in the
from.
day. Yeah.
It's living in the day.
Yeah,
If
that-
you can just live in that day, not
Yeah.
worry about fucking what's going to happen, not worry
Yeah,
about what's
yeah.
gone.
That's where happiness is.
That's where fucking happiness
Yeah.
is.
I
And
am-
no amount
Yeah.
of money, no amount of anything can
Mm.
take
Mm.
any of that
Yeah.
away from you. You
Yeah.
can be the fucking poorest person in the world.
Mm.
If you live in that precise moment,
Yeah.
that it's your last fucking whatever,
Yeah.
your last day on earth.
Your life will be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a really morbid outlook, because I always used to think, at one point, I used to say, I think the meaning of life is, you know, the only thing that's certain in life is death.
Yeah.
So like the meaning of life is obviously the death, because that's the only thing that you know is going to happen for definite. I think sometimes that's probably what kept me so negative, because it's just a negative view anyway, to think that the only thing that's certain.
You weren't negative, was you?
Oh, man. I mean, yes, it is the only thing that is certain, but well, you know, the space in between is yours to do what you want to do with.
Exactly. It's and the living in the future bit and the living in the past is you're missing what's going on now.
Yeah,
and
of
I've
course
done
you
that.
are,
I've done that all my life.
Yeah.
Missing
But it's
what's going on now.
control, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's where that comes from. Like thinking about the future. It's like trying to control the outcomes of everything. You know, that's what I mean. I was literally like booking the next weekend away. I mean, my missus got pissed off because she was literally felt like she'd unpack a suitcase, then she'd be packing again to go, you know, to go away. And now she's gone a bit the other way because we don't go anywhere. But you know, but I've gone from one extreme to another because I'm just not bothered. I'm just happy sat at home, just doing, you know, because I'm happy sat with me. It's like I'm not just content with just being in my own company and just doing what I want to do, because I've never felt happy in my own company. I've always wanted to do something to keep myself entertained, or I've been really, really needy, you know. And I think by having stuff booked up all the time, it's almost like I had something to look forward to, which was kind of like the drive to keep going. But now I'm happy where I am in the present day, I'm not asked about having stuff booked. And in a weird way, if we're going away anywhere, I think it almost feels like a hassle to do something now.
I don't forget that one. And amount of times for years when I was single and that, I just deliberately, as soon as I get a day off, right, who's touring where, who's touring, heard of that band, right, I'm just going. I used to keep a backpack next to my bed with just a spare set of clothes in. And I'd wake up that morning of day off and thought, 2 days off, great. Bang, bang, I'll go see who's about. Didn't care where they were, it was part of Britain. Ding, ding, right, I'm off. See you later, everyone.
I
would do it on a whim. No end of time.
I mean, that's all right. It's what you just said is the fact that I need something. I hear this all the time. I need something to look forward to. It's let's book a holiday because I need something to look forward to.
But you're still looking forward,
that's the
aren't you?
problem. Is the fact of just yes, book a holiday. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But you don't need it as an incentive to do anything.
No, you don't. No.
Live today.
Yeah.
And that will come along in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just don't put all your, because everybody puts all, and we do more than anybody, puts all your hopes and dreams that this fucking holiday or this car or whatever in 6 months' time is going to fix everything.
Yeah, and
then it comes along and it don't fucking fix everything.
And nothing changes, and you think, and then you're like, and then you convince yourself it's because you should have gone on that holiday, or you should have bought this or bought that. Yeah. You know, and it's just, you know, just chasing something, and you never know what it is you're chasing. You just think that's what you need to make you happy. Yeah, that's indeed. But like I say, when you start living in the day, that's when things start to change and you get happy.
Yeah, because you can't be disappointed, can you?
No.
The problem with living in the future is you're always fucking disappointed because it never goes the way, especially an alcoholic or an addict.
The way you picture it.
The way I've planned it.
Yeah.
It never goes that fucking way. No matter what I do, it don't go that way. Yeah. The past is already gone, and I've made mistakes. Everyone fucking makes mistakes. Yeah. So that's a no-no. Yeah. Living in the day, there's nothing to be. There's nothing that can go wrong because it goes how it fucking wants to go. Yeah. Right, we are up on time. Does anybody else want to jump in?
Oh, that was good. That was a good one. That was.
Really well.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well done, Dermot.
Right, so thank you for listening. Please have a click and a like and a share. I'll pass you over to Nick and tell you where we're on.
We are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Going strong. The numbers are slowly going up. Getting more and more viewers every week. Which big thank you from all of us here for that. Just your shared messages getting out there. We hope we're enjoying them.
Have we broke YouTube yet?
No. I am trying everything. Nothing short of selling my soul and my body. Well, I can't do it.
We'll break it, don't worry. Right, so upcoming events. Hopefully next week we've got a guest coming in, so that will be good. And then we've got some more guests coming in later on in the year as well. And then we've got some one-off specials that we're going to do actually on video, so you can be able to see us. So yeah, exciting times. So thank you everybody.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye bye.